Grab your favorite brew, settle into that comfy spot, and join us as we dissect the highs, lows, and jaw-dropping moments from Matchday 4 in the Champions League, from last-minute winners, to unexpected upsets. How will the drama unfold? Stick around because it's about to get legendary. We are Red Beard and Targo. Join us as we kick off Matchday excitement and delve into the illustrious history of the Champions League. Welcome, football aficionados, to another episode of Brews and Banter FC, where we blend the love of the beautiful game with the art of brewing perfect conversation.
Let the games begin! What is up, my man? How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Looks like we yet again decided to wear the same jerseys.
Yep. Had to cheer on Dortmund.
Footballing
you know
karma
how we were
at
feeling
its
about
finest.
Newcastle here, so yeah.
Yeah. And the Newcastle fans have let us know about that game. For sure.
They have been, for sure, on our
Holy
Instagram,
crap.
man.
Instagram, yeah. Facebook, YouTube too. Just can't get away from
All of
those
it.
Geordies. So, my friend, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking Drew Brew. Kolsch.
Ooh, nice.
German-style golden ale. It's an award-winning German-style golden ale. German-grown Pilsner and wheat malts give it a nice bready aroma, subtle honey flavor, and provide for a delicate but complex finish. It's crisp and refreshing, not hoppy. As you saw, I had a little sip there during the intro, but I'll take another one. This one is all right. Has kind of a funky aftertaste.
Yeah? Like what?
I don't know. It might be the honey.
Okay.
That honey flavor.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of honey.
Well, shucks.
I would give this I would drink it again. So I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Yeah, what is
Passing
it?
grade.
Like anything over a 6, drink again. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, today I'm drinking Breckenridge Brewery Vanilla Porter, roasted malts with notes of vanilla. And I too had a sip, because I've had this one before. It is,
How is it?
Very vanilla up front. A little bit of chocolate right after that, and coffee. So, my kind of beer. Solid.
So I know
8 or 9 out of 10.
Oh, I like how it has vanilla flavor up front. That does sound good. But you also got to let, the listeners, viewers know about the beer you had last time. That maple.
The one that I said was a 8.5 that I'd probably drink again, the 15%. Well, I didn't finish it because it was like syrup.
And it was $14 beer.
Yeah, by the time you got to the end of it, it was just, no, I wasn't having it. It's like drinking a pint of maple syrup. It was gross. So today, to make sure I enjoy everything, provided by lovely Targo, I have Aha Toro Tequila.
One of our favorites.
Yes. And also because this is an itty bitty beer, and I'm going to finish it real quick.
There you go. So we had Matchday 4 in the Champions League.
Yes,
what a round it was. Let's start with the group of death, man. Everyone wants to get to it. We had Dortmund taking on Newcastle. And this one ended 2-0 to Dortmund. Hence why we're wearing our Dortmund jerseys.
Man, what like a complete 360 turnaround from both of these teams, because Newcastle beat Arsenal on the weekend, and Dortmund got absolutely destroyed by Bayern Munich. This looked like Dortmund was the team that beat Arsenal, and Newcastle was the team that got destroyed by Bayern Munich.
Yeah, some interesting changes, I will say, by Eddie Howe in this one. Because you know that Dortmund back line is lacking in pace. Matt Hummels, Sula back there. And he sits probably one of his quickest players in Miguel Almiron on the bench.
I would say 2 of his
and
3,
Anthony
because
Gordon.
Anthony Gordon
Yeah.
was also on the bench.
So it was a little bit interesting to see those two guys sitting on the bench. Maybe the games are catching up to them, because it seems like, after these Champions League games, they struggle. They did at least last time out against Wolves.
Yeah, and they started Livramento out on the right side, so it was almost like they were playing with 2 wing backs on that side with him and Trippier.
Yeah, so he wasn't even playing as a defender. He looked like a winger.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I know he's fast and he's good on the ball, but, like, he brings more defensively than offensively. So, interesting choices by Eddie Howe.
Yeah, and Dortmund, they got out to a flying start in this one, man. They were peppering Newcastle. They finally broke the drought. They got a goal in the 25th minute. Sabitzer would kind of flick across into the middle, and Fulkrug would get on the end of it, putting Dortmund up 1-0.
That's why they paid the big bucks for him. First Champions League goal of the season.
There you go. Newcastle would have a few chances. Their biggest chance probably coming in the 56th minute. Joelinton completely fluffing his header.
I don't understand how he missed that. That was almost like Mo Salah missing and trying to head it back across to Darwin Núñez. Like, that was terrible. I don't know how he missed that.
And Dortmund, man, they made it 2-0. Was it just toward the end of the game?
Yeah. Quick counter off of a Kieran Trippier free kick. Sabitzer would feed it behind the defense to Julian Brandt, who pretty much in on goal to finish it real easy as you like.
79th minute, yep. So Dortmund, big win for them.
Yeah, I found it funny. After the second goal, the Dortmund fans had fake golden bars or bricks and were throwing them.
Yeah, and like kind of fake money to. Yeah. So did you hear what that was for?
I thought it was because of their owners.
So it does have to do with that, but it's also Saudi Arabia getting the 2034 World Cup bid.
Okay.
And because Newcastle have Saudi owners, it was because of that. As a kind of protest for Saudi Arabia getting the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, Newcastle, they did not look good in this game, man. They looked kind of underwhelming. They looked tired, just not really up for it. Versus Dortmund were.
Which is weird, because, I mean, I understand big game on the weekend, had to travel to Dortmund. But Newcastle usually is a very high-energy team. They usually don't show fatigue like that. I'm going to put it down to, like, I think Eddie Howe got his tactics wrong on this one. I really do. They were sitting back trying to absorb pressure instead of being what Newcastle is famous for right now, which is high pressing, being on the front foot the whole game, trying to dominate. They just didn't do it. And, footballing karma at its finest. The football gods know, man.
The injuries probably aren't helping them at all.
Not at all.
So the other game in this group saw Milan hosting PSG, the San Siro. We both picked PSG to win this game, and we were wrong, man. Milan ran out 2-1 winners.
Yeah,
over the Parisians.
Not only did they win this game, but this is their first 2 goals in the Champions League this season.
It is. And honestly, Milan have looked terrible. They lost, I believe, on the weekend in Serie A. They played terribly against PSG in Paris.
Last time out. And against Juventus the week before, so
this was an interesting one. PSG, they scored first, though, in the 9th minute. It was kind of a cross came in. Milan Skriniar would get on the end of it, head it in. I will say, I think it was off a corner, if I'm not mistaken, but it was just poor marking by Ruben Loftus-Cheek on that one, man.
Yeah, pretty much looking around.
I'm going to criticize him for this, but I will say, for the rest of the game, he had a fantastic He
definitely made up for it. That is for sure.
Kind of also in that first half, Kylian Mbappe, man. So he got put through on goal. And I've never seen a worse touch from Kylian Mbappe, if I'm being honest. Like, it's the 1 out of 100. He tries to kind of get it around the goalie as he's put through and just completely mistouches it. I thought it was funny, but it was also a huge chance missed for PSG.
100%. Yeah, normally you'd expect him to finish that, but this occasion kind of sums up his form right now.
And then Mr. Ousmane Dembele, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, had a good strike, but wasn't lucky enough for it to go in. It hit the crossbar in the first half. I gotta say, man, Dembele, he's looking more shit than good right now, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
I know, and he's such a frustrating player because he's got so much talent and so much speed, but like half the time the end product is not there. He's still yet to score for PSG this season. So, yeah, more times shit than good.
Yeah. Milan would get the equalizer on the counter, as we mentioned. Ruben Loftus-Cheek would feed Giroud on his left foot. He had his shot parried. And this was interesting. It went straight up in the air, and Rafael Leao was there. I don't want to call it a bicycle kick, even though it kind of is. Just because he kind of falls back. He doesn't,
The
jump
lazy
up.
man's bicycle kick probably would be a good
That's how I would score a bicycle kick, is I just kind of fall back. I call it an overhead kick.
All the defenders ran past the ball. He was standing there. It fell right to him. A little behind him. Improvised. I think Donnarumma probably should have done a little bit better.
A little bit, but it's kind of hard because how close he was. He had two defenders in front of him. But also interesting, did you see all the fake money?
Yeah, so Milan fans, return of Donnarumma to the San Siro for the first time since leaving for a big paycheck at PSG. They had Dollaruma and Mercenaruma, so mercenary mixed with Donnarumma, with his face on the dollar bills, and just threw them all over the pitch at him.
They were all over too. Like, you couldn't even clean it up. There's so many.
No, and you see when he goes to pick it up, he's just laughing the whole time. So, at least he was a good sport about it.
Milan, they got their second goal in the second half from your boy King Oli, man, doing what he does best, getting his head to the end of a cross, putting it in the net. 2-1.
I'm just saying, at 37, Ronaldo's playing in Saudi Arabia. Olivier Giroud is still playing in the Serie A in the Champions League, scoring goals. Just saying.
So's Neymar. And then he gets hurt in Saudi Arabia. But I had to shout out Ruben Loftus-Cheek, man. He made some amazing runs through the middle of that field. Just
driving the ball forward.
That guy is so athletic and strong. It's a shame he couldn't stay healthy at Chelsea. And that Chelsea were playing him like as a right back. I don't know why they did that, but shout out to him, man. He had a fantastic game. But this group, man, how is this group going to fucking finish?
I don't know, man. We still got two
after every game.
We got 2 match days left. Those 2 match days could go any direction because we got Milan and Dortmund and PSG and Newcastle. Like, it could go any way. It could go any way.
If you look at the group, and first is Dortmund on 7 points, second is PSG on 6 points, third is Milan on 5 points, and fourth is Newcastle on 4 points. And of course, if they're tied on points, it goes to head-to-head, not goal differential.
Hmm.
I think originally I picked PSG and Milan. Do you remember who you picked?
I might have picked the same.
I think you did.
I think I picked Newcastle to finish third, though, and go into the Europa League.
I think I did, too. I think I want to stick with it, my hunch, but man, Dortmund's sitting pretty on top of that group.
Yeah, and the way Dortmund are playing in the Champions League right now versus the way Milan is playing right now, I mean, they're lucky to be in third place right now. Their opening 3 matches were awful. So, I don't know, man. I think it might come down to the last game. The PSG
sure will.
Dortmund and Milan and Newcastle. But I mean, if Dortmund can beat Milan, it's one leg into the next round.
I got a prediction.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Dortmund beats Milan and PSG beats Newcastle.
That would knock Newcastle out.
It would knock Newcastle out, and then Dortmund PSG play in the last game and watch them just play to a draw, get a point, and make it out of that group.
Right.
Predicting it now.
And especially if one of these teams draws in the next round, that Newcastle Milan game is going to be just all out warfare. Because one of those teams is going to have to win to even have a hope of qualifying. So,
and
should
that
be
one's going to
interesting.
be at Tyneside, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Group H, man. We had one of the upsets of this match day 4. It was Shakhtar beating Barcelona 1-0. Shakhtar shockingly took the lead in the 40th minute after, I gotta say, one of the best cross-field balls I've ever seen.
Oh my God. This thing might have came, I don't know, 10 feet off the ground, if not lower, and just split the defenders.
Oh, God. Just a laser to the
yards.
far side of the field.
On a dime.
And then just the grass, it just like had a backspin, so it just stopped on the grass.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a beauty. Beautiful crossfield ball.
Not to mention the header as well.
So then, yeah, that crossfield ball leads to a cross into the box, which Danilo Sikan gets his head to, puts it past Ter Stegen, 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of this is down to poor marking. I mean, it was, 3-on-1 in the box.
Andreas Christensen, who are you marking, bro?
Yeah, but I'm going to put it down to great movement to drag the defenders towards the near post and then back off. Give yourself some space to hit that looping header. And great improvisation, because that is not an easy thing to do, to loop that header into the top corner.
No, and then when he gets his head on the ball, there's not even a Barcelona player touching him. There's no one within 2-3 yards of him.
No. Ter Stegen was pissed after that goal.
Barcelona, man, they look bad. They really didn't create anything. They had fantastic players starting: Lewandowski, Gavi, Gundogan. They brought on João Felix. They brought on Pedri.
Rafinha.
Lewandowski is struggling
looks like
right
a
now.
shadow of his old self. Yeah. And I mean, you famously said it in our previous episode during our power rankings. Barcelona don't look very good right now.
I told you, man. Since that Real Madrid loss.
Well before this game. Luckily, they looked decent in October. Otherwise, I'd be looking like a crazy person right now.
I mean, yeah, Shakhtar, honestly, they had the better chances. They had a golazo called back due to offsides.
I know. And it
beautiful
was so
curler
close,
inside netting, yeah.
Very marginally off. And yeah, what a curler it was. But, I mean, this is Xavi's 5th loss in the Champions League group stages. It's tied for the most all-time by any Barcelona manager, ever. In
That's
2 seasons. In 2 seasons. That's not good at all.
That's not good.
No.
I will say this was Barca's first loss this season. But let's look at the other game in that group, and then we'll talk about it. We had Porto hosting Antwerp. Porto would win 2-0. Porto, they went up 1-0 after they won a pen in the 32nd minute. Very weak pen.
There's no way. Okay, so I've harped on Champions League VAR all the way up until this point. But there's no way in hell that this should be a penalty kick. The guy's got his arms out like this, trying to stop. The attacker in front of him stops in front of him, and he runs into him. There is no way that should be a penalty kick. No way in hell. That was awful.
Either way, man, Evanilson would step up, score his 4th Champions League goal in 2 games. And then it gets from bad to worse as Antwerp will go down to 10 men in the 52nd. It was a yellow upgraded to a red after the ref went to the monitor to have a look.
Dude, it was nasty. It was
a definite red. Studs just about at the knee. Ooh.
Yeah,
it was gross.
Bad. Yeah.
It was a nasty one.
Ugh.
And Antwerp had one golden opportunity to make it 1-1 in the 89th, but could not take advantage. And rolling back the years, man, he now becomes the oldest goal scorer in Champions League history. Pepe.
Yeah. You
Pepe, man.
know who he passed for the oldest player to score
Who
in a
did he
Champions
pass?
League game? Francesco Totti. Famously of AS Roma.
Yes.
God, I miss watching him play. I just wanted to just say that. Anyways.
Pepe, man, header. There at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the next round doesn't Barcelona play Porto in Lisbon?
Give me 2 seconds and I will look. They play in Barcelona.
Okay. Well, I think it's pretty much whoever's going to top the group is going to come down to that match. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's pretty clear one of those teams is going to top the group. Right now, Barcelona's in first, sitting on 9 points. Porto's in second, also sitting on 9 points. You got Shakhtar on 6 points, and Antwerp with a big fat goose egg.
Yeah, so all three teams already qualified for the Europa League, which is good for them.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah. Antwerp have been poor. Luckily for Shakhtar, they play them, and the other two play each other, so they have a chance to sneak up into that second spot, depending on how results go. And Porto lost last time out against Barca. Can they change their fortunes? I don't know.
We will see. The way they're playing, they could. But Barca fans, don't worry quite yet. You're still top of the group. And you'll at least get Europa League as of now. But let's move on to Group E, man. We had Lazio taking on Feyenoord. You and I have been flying high on Feyenoord in the Champions League. They're scoring goals for fun. They're exciting to watch. But they couldn't get nothing going in this game, man. They lost 1-0 to Lazio.
This game was scrappy, man. It was scrappy. The whole game pretty much was in the midfield. Very few chances created.
Scrappy is an understatement, as a yellow card got shown 50 seconds in to a Feyenoord player. Seconds into this game, there's a yellow card.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
The one goal came from Ciro Immobile. He'd get the only goal in first half stoppage time after a ball over the top beats the offside trap. Immobile just goes around the goalkeeper to put the ball in the back of the net.
And it was a fantastic finish for the angle he was shooting at.
It was
almost on the end line. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw this initially, I thought he was offsides. Initially.
Nope.
Replay said he wasn't. But
fantastic skill the way he went around the goalkeeper, too. He made it look super easy.
Silky smooth. Yeah.
Very
and
silky
what
smooth.
Would be, I believe, his 200th goal for Lazio. So, congrats for him.
And that was also Lazio's only shot on target. Feyenoord's their best chance came from Santi Jimenez. He had a shot in the first half and a header right at the end, saved by Provedel.
Both great saves. Yeah. I think he could have done better with both chances, but it wasn't Feyenoord's day. They dropped down into third in this group.
Well, let's look at the other game in this group, as we saw Atletico Madrid hosting Celtic, and Atletico.
I just want to point out
Celtic over and just have their way with them.
I want to point out that you originally picked a draw for this game.
I did, and I was like, I better change that. Atletico's been playing pretty good. I had them in my top 10 power rankings. I was like, I'm going to change that.
And good thing you did, because this was an ass whooping.
It was. I actually changed this while the first round of games were going on. I was looking at it and I was like, I better change that. Yeah, man. Atleti, they would go up after just 9 minutes. Griezmann collect the ball at the top of the box, slot it into the bottom corner, beating Joe Hart. Celtic would be on the unfortunate end of a VAR review, as Dazen Maeda would be sent off in the 23rd minute for dangerous play.
I will revert back to it again. I was high on VAR in the Champions League. I do not think this is a red card either. Very harsh. He puts his studs up and then pulls back, and then the guy kicks his foot.
So yeah, how I would describe it is like you're going to block a clearance. You go to block it, you put your foot out, and the player kicks the ball, and then his follow through brings him to the bottom of his foot.
Yeah.
That's not a red card for me.
No, it never is. And I mean, at most, it's a yellow. Like yellow, no one's complaining. Whoop-de-doo. But I can't.
But I mean,
believe
he
that
didn't.
was red.
He didn't go at the player. He was trying to block the ball, and the player's follow through brought him to the bottom of his foot. I thought that one was definitely a wrong call.
And it would change the outcome of the match because at that point it was pretty close. It was going back and forth, and then after that, it was all athletic.
Oh, all athletic, man. They'd go 2-0 up just before the half. Alvaro Morata would get his first of the match, and then the second half was one side of the field.
Yeah.
Oh, man. They'd make it 3-0 in the 60th minute. Griezmann got his brace with a lovely kind of improvised finish.
Yeah, man. Screw Mbappe. Screw Haaland. Griezmann for the Ballon d'Or, man. He's playing better than I've ever seen him play in his entire life. And this is past 30. That's not a real shout for him to win the Ballon d'Or, but I just want to give him credit for how good he's playing.
He played fantastic at the end of last season as well.
Yeah. The guy who I actually think is going to win the Ballon d'Or, the next one, we'll get to him later. But
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Samuel Ligne would add his name to the score sheet in the 66th to make it 4-0 with a high-quality finish. Absolutely brilliant, I must say.
It was. And you remember a couple weeks ago, I was telling you, watch out for the Samuel Ligne. Brazilian. He is lightning.
He looks good, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle. We heard it here first. Morata would get his second, making it 5-0 in the 76th with, I gotta say, a sensational finish. The guy is also in his form of his life.
He is, and it's taken him years and just as many teams, let's be honest, to find this form. But, I mean, we've seen the quality in flashes throughout his career.
We've also seen the terrible touch.
About time he gets it all together and is a finished product. I feel fantastic for him.
We make fun of you when you're shit, but damn, if you're playing good, we will also give you the praise.
Yep. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Saul would cap off the blowout, 84th minute.
6-0,
making
man.
It 6-0.
That's got to be hard to take for Celtic fans. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so after this round, Atletico sit top of the group on 8 points, Lazio in second on 7, Feyenoord in third on 6 points. Celtic sitting bottom on 1.
Yeah, and Celtic have to win their next 2 games. Feyenoord and Lazio really, realistically, just have to pick up a point to knock out Celtic. So, and they both have to play Celtic, so.
Yep, the next round sees Celtic facing Lazio and Feyenoord hosting Atletico.
Should be interesting.
All right, let's move on to Group G, which is pretty easy. Man City taking on Young Boys. We both picked City to win this game. Guess what?
Weird.
They did. 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
They just dominated this game from the start, man.
One of the easiest 3-0 victories you'll ever see.
Yep, starts off with a PK. Holland converts it. Definite foul for me.
Yeah, same here.
Phil Foden makes it 2 in first half stoppage time, getting around his defender and just slotting the ball far post, going around the goalkeeper.
Dude, his
Lovely
first touch was like absolutely perfect. This ball comes in from like 40 yards out and he cushions it dead on the ground. One touch past the defender, runs around him, so that way if the defender touches him, it's a penalty. One more touch, and then slots it in the far corner. It's absolutely brilliant from Phil Foden.
It was a beautiful goal, yeah. Erling Haaland, man, got his brace, blasting a shot from outside the 18-yard box into the side netting in the 51st minute.
It's almost like they were trying to recreate. They were trying to recreate that EAFC commercial where he just puts a hole in the net. So they looked exactly the same, just in the side netting instead of the back.
It was a rocket, that's for sure. Young Boys, they'd go down to 10 men in the 53rd for a second yellow card. Honestly, the player knew he was getting it when he made the tackle.
Yep, stood up, started walking off.
Yep. Honestly, City dominated. They could have had more. I think Holland should have had another one or two. But City had 27 shots, 10 of them on target. Young boys,
Goose egg.
goose egg. Nothing. No shots, nothing on
Nada.
target.
Nothing.
Completely dominated.
I would have been surprised to see how many times they actually made it out of their own half.
It was, not
wasn't
much.
many. Maybe a handful. It was completely dominated by Man City. This is like a training match.
It was.
Kind of like Newcastle against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup.
There you go. The other game was Red Star Belgrade versus RB Leipzig. Or if you'd like us to pronounce Red Star Belgrade's real name, Crvena Zvezda. However you pronounce it.
Dude.
Well, Leipzig, they won 2-1.
Yeah. And guess what? Yet another wonder goal by their wonder kid, Xavi Simons.
Beautiful goal, man. Beautiful curler.
8 minutes in. What a player he is, man. Probably, if you count the money versus the skill and how well they're performing, has to be the signing of the season for PSG. 5 mil? Come on. It's an absolute bargain for that player. Holy shit.
Oh, that's amazing, yeah. Luis Openda would get Leipzig second in the 77th, catching the goalkeeper at his near post off a quick counter attack. Red Star, they got one back through an OG from Benjamin Henriks in the 81st. And honestly, I kind of wish I would have watched this game from the start. It was an entertaining game. Both teams had loads of chances, missing golden opportunities.
Dude, there was no defense in this match. It was just end to end the whole time.
It was. It was. Oh, I wish I would have watched it live.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with that Henriks own goal. I thought the guy kicked it straight in from the free kick. I didn't even know he touched it. It looked like it just curled right in and no one touched it, bounced right into the near post, or far post. I had no idea he touched it until I saw it was an own goal.
Saw the replay. Yeah, it does take a little touch.
Yeah, I still think it would have ended up in the same spot. But
so this Group G, has Man City sitting on top. Surprise, surprise. 12 points. RB Leipzig in second on 9 points. Crvena Zvezda and Young Boys both sitting on 1 point.
Yep. Both qualified for the knockout rounds. The other two pretty much come down to their game against each other to see who goes to the Europa League.
Yes, it will. And they play each other in match day 5. So we'll move on to the Wednesday games. Started out with a banger, I might add. Real Sociedad hosting Benfica, man. Sociedad, I told you, I'm high on Sociedad.
Oh, holy
now
crap,
you know why.
Man. Holy crap, this was a ridiculous opening 30 minutes for them.
Remember when I told you Sociedad was going to get out of this group?
Yeah.
And you laughed at me?
Yeah, I do remember. And they're officially out of this group. So, congrats. I also didn't think Benfica was going to be this bad this season. Let's just say that. Because
I didn't think they would be this bad either. You got me there.
Played them off the park and quite honestly should have been 4-0 inside of 30 minutes, but it was only 3.
Yeah. Mikel Moreno would open the scoring in the 6th minute. Wonderful short corner routine. Munoz wayward shot, smartly headed in by Moreno. Dude, you should have seen the stadium after this goal. It was rocking.
I think there was one replay
Everyone
where
with their scarves.
They switched to a camera that was like in the middle of the stands, and it was shaking. Like straight up shaking. They had to switch away from it because you couldn't see nothing. Fantastic support in Sociedad.
Mikel Oyarzabal would make it 2 just after 5 minutes later after a bad pass from Florentino was intercepted by the Spaniard, who would take it to the house, man. Finish it off. Made Otamendi look slow. I thought, watching it, I thought Otamendi was going to get there. I was like, this Otamendi should get there.
Yeah. Nope. And be honest with you, this whole match he looked slow. Because a couple minutes later, when they got the penalty kick, and we'll get to that, he was also slow in that one. So, same guy made him look slow.
Yep. Real Sociedad thought they had 3, but Moreno was judged to have handled the ball, which it does look like it hits his hand, and then he's the one to score it. I can see why they chalked it off. But they would get their third in the 21st as Ander Baranextia, hopefully I said that somewhat right, Baranextia would smash it home after a superb cutback.
Dude, he cuts the
Keeper had
ball
no
back,
chance,
and
dude.
the whole defense goes
This was a beautiful goal.
by.
Beautiful
And then
finish.
knuckling, top corner, blasts it past the keeper. No chance.
Lovely skill. Cuts it back past the defender, and then, just top bins it, man. Raiz Mendez would have a golden opportunity to make it 4-0 after Benfica gave away a PK in the 28th minute. What a turn, though.
Oh,
to draw the foul from Otamendi. What a turn.
Who was already sliding before he even starts the turn, and then just breezes past him. Otamendi catches his trailing leg. Easy pen.
Yeah, I think Sociedad were feeling a little sorry for Benfica.
That's
Because
awesome.
Oyarzabal had the fantastic turn.
Yeah. Raiz Mendez hits the
Raiz
post.
Mendez hits the post.
The ball comes back to him, but he knows he can't touch it, so he just sits there and goes, lets the ball go past him.
Second half was a little different, as Benfica would get their goal in the 49th minute through a Rafa Silva after a great bit of interplay. And Anthony Taylor was the referee for this match after he had just been demoted from the Premier League to the Championship. Looks like he's back, man, because guess what? He's also refereeing Chelsea and the Man City game.
Can't make this up, man. And let's be honest, I'm gonna be 100% watching this Chelsea and Man City game because I want to see if what I think is true about Man City getting all the favorable calls in the Premier League. So, Anthony Taylor.
There's definitely been this conspiracy theory going around with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, 115 charges to your bank accounts that are fraudulent. I'm just saying, referees could be a part of that.
I also saw another interesting kind of conspiracy theory. How a lot of the pundits aren't agreeing with Mikel Arteta. You know, your Gary Neville's,
Jamie
Carragher's, Michael Owens.
Well, Gary Neville is a twat, so.
They've all also had Howard Webb, head of PGMOL, onto their little podcasts or shows or whatever. And so there's a rumor going around that the PGMOL is texting all these guys saying, hey, don't crucify us.
Yeah, I've also heard another one where it's because it creates this like reality TV show type of drama in the Premier League that they do it that way and say, fuck it. Just because then the media has all of this stuff to talk about. So, lots of conspiracy theories out there. Let us know what ones you think might be right, which ones might be wrong. Some might be shit, some might be good. Let us know down in the comments.
Let us know in our, comments, Instagram, Facebook, join our Facebook group. Help support the channel, get the merch, Brews and Banter swag. We want to hear from you guys.
Definitely.
But let's get to the other game in this Group D. We had RB Salzburg hosting Inter Milan. Inter Milan won 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, this game was back and forth the whole match. Wasn't a ton of real good chances. And
I'll call it a snooze fest.
Yeah. It might have
been.
Compared
to some of these other games.
Yeah. I mean, Inter would find themselves with a late penalty kick after Nico Barella's shot hit the hand of the defender. Clear penalty kick. Might have been even a goal. But Martinez steps up, buries it. 1-0. That was it.
So Group D, man, look who's sitting at top of it. Real Sociedad on 10 points. In second, you got Inter Milan on 10 points. Third, RB Salzburg with 3 points. And Benfica with nothing, man. 4 losses out of 4 games. Man,
this might be the most disappointing 4 games I've ever seen out of a Benfica side. Ever.
Semi-finalists last year.
Season. Yeah. They lost
About
what?
to go out in the group stage.
They lost one player in Goncalo Ramos.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to look to see who they lost and
I
who
would
they
have
got.
to as well, but it wasn't many. You're telling me that he was that big of a difference in this team?
He shouldn't be, no.
No.
But my picks are looking good of Real Sociedad and Inter Milan getting out of that group.
Yeah, mine are looking terrible. Inter Milan, I had first, Benfica in second. So Benfica's out. Surprise, surprise.
They're officially knocked out.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's go to Group C. We had Napoli hosting Union Berlin. This one would end in a draw, 1-1.
I did not see this coming. I didn't. Especially watching the first half. Napoli dominated this match.
Yeah, they did. They hit the post in the 24th minute. Thought they scored in the 30th, but it was called back by VAR for a foul. Ref went to the monitor to have a look, called it a foul.
I
Maybe
also
something they should start doing in the Premier League.
I want to have a shout out for this one because it looked eerily similar to the foul on Gabriel, or not foul, over the weekend. And guess who called it a foul? Weird. Yeah, they look exactly the same.
Wasn't quite the same, but yes, they were similar. I will give you that. Napoli would take the lead in 39th. A little fortunate as Ruiz cross would hit a defender and then bounce right off of Politano's face.
Like literally
Right
knew nothing
goal,
about
man.
it. He was jumping
He was just
ahead the initial
sprinting
cross.
into the box.
Bam.
And it,
Straight off the face into the net.
yeah, what a lucky goal, man.
Yeah.
Union Berlin would get their equalizer against the run of play in the 52nd as Chelsea loanee David Fofana would find his name on the score sheet after a clearance found him on the break. Squared it to Becker, whose shot was parried right into his path. Man, what a counterattack. It was beautiful.
Dude, lightning fast, too. I mean, between the two of them, it might have been 3 passes and then the parry by the keeper. Lightning
yeah, Becker looked real quick. For his first Becker's shot, I feel like he took it way too early.
I think so, too. Yeah.
He could have got closer to the goal, but then the goalie parried it right to Fofana, who put it in the net. The other game in this group saw Real Madrid hosting Braga. Real Madrid, comfortable winners, 3-0. We picked them.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Braga would get a PK in the 3rd minute of this game to kind of shake things up a bit. But Ligne stepping up big, saving it.
Yeah, man. Kepa getting hurt in the warm-ups. Andre Ligne having to come in and immediately has to stop a penalty kick. What a way to put your name in Real Madrid headlines.
Right? Again, I don't know why they went and bought Kepa when they have this guy. Is
He's on
Kepa
loan.
that much of an upgrade?
He's on loan, provides depth. I don't think he is, but I mean, Lunen's real young, so I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have faith in him.
Real Madrid would eventually get on the score sheet in the 27th minute through Brahim Diaz after a wonderful run and cutback by Rodrigo.
Oh,
and
man.
Brahim Diaz smashed it into the top of the net.
Yeah, I mean, great run from him, too. Sprints into the box and stops so that Rodrigo can play the ball back to him just to smash it. Fantastic movement all around.
Rodrigo would also be involved in the 2nd and 3rd goal. He started the wonderful interplay to Vinny Jr., who played it out to Lucas Vasquez. Played a wonderful ball back into Vinny Jr., slots at home, 2-0. That was in the 58th. And then Vinny Jr. would play in a ball for Rodrigo. Beautiful pass, and Rodrigo with a deft chip right over the goalie, man. Beautiful finish.
Beautiful. And man, is Rodrigo rapid or what? Holy crap, is he fast?
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
I will say, Rodrigo needed this game, man. He's kind of been struggling. Hasn't been creating much. I mean, you saw him in El Clasico. He didn't do anything, if I'm being honest. And he hasn't been playing very well, so he needed this. Another player I'm going to criticize a little bit is Federico Valverde, man. I feel like every time I watch him play, he gets at least 1 or 2 opportunities in the game to get a goal and fluffs his lines.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand he has been playing consistently, but at the same time, man, you got to do better. You're playing for arguably the biggest team in the world.
And a player of his quality, he should be doing better.
100%. 100%.
So Group C, that leaves Real Madrid, top of the group, 12 points. They're on their way through. You have Napoli in second on 7 points. Braga in third with 3 points. Union Berlin with 1.
And Union Berlin didn't lose a game.
They didn't lose.
They didn't lose. Little wins,
Well,
man.
Let's see if they can get a win next time out, huh?
I hope so.
All right, moving on to Group B. We had Arsenal hosting Sevilla at the Emirates. We both picked our Gooners to win. They did 2-0. Honestly, Sevilla did not show up to this game at all.
No, and this was a very changed Arsenal squad from the weekend. Well, not really very. I think it was like 3 or 4 changes, but
you saw Trossard come in for Nketiah.
Yeah, who is out injured.
You saw Tomiyasu started. So no, that was it. Havertz started.
Yeah, Havertz started. Jorginho and Rice. Tomiyasu started on the left. I guess he did start against Newcastle instead of Zinchenko.
He came off at halftime for Zinchenko.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Sevilla, they might as well have never got off the bus.
No. The wingers, Martinelli and Saka, man, they were just terrorizing those fullbacks, especially Martinelli in that first half, man. That fullback is going to have nightmares tonight.
Yeah, and the worst part is Jesus Navas was the original starting right back for them in this game in Seville. Martinelli terrorized him in that match, so both of their right backs just having nightmares over Gabriel Martinelli.
Arsenal find the breakthrough after a wonderful through ball by Jorginho to Saka. On the wing, he crossed it in for Trossard, who finished it in typical Leandro Trossard style, man.
Yeah.
Guys,
wonderful
pretty clinical goal in front of goal.
I agree.
They would get their second in the 64th on a break. Saka getting behind, cuts it back onto his left foot, finishes
Wonderful
it. Beautiful finish.
Yeah. Star boy, star again.
Yes, I feel like he's been a while since he's been involved with a goal, so it was good to see him involved in both of these with an assist and a goal.
I agree.
The other game in this group saw PSV hosting Lens. This one ended 1-0 to PSV. And they struck pretty early, man. A cross into the box, and Luc de Jong with a fantastic header in the 12th minute.
Yeah, man, it was quite the header, too. Ball coming in from 30 yards out. Essentially dinks it over the keeper. Just flicks it on over his outstretched hand.
Yeah. PSV, they had a great chance to go 2-0 up in the 85th. Chucky Lozano would find himself 2-on-1 behind the defense. Decides to take the shot himself, man.
You
with
could
an open
see
player just to his right.
You could see Johan Bakayoko right, wide open. And afterwards, he was so mad. He's just standing there staring at him. Like, how could you not pass me the ball? He literally, within 30 yards of him, was nobody.
I feel like this happened a couple times in this game. Where PSV had that opportunity and they got greedy, man. Chucky, especially in this one.
Just like greedy. The movies, man. Chucky getting greedy.
He was. Lens, man, they pushed for an equalizer, but they couldn't find it. They hit the post in the 88th minute. And Gulavogi would find himself getting sent off in extra time for a second yellow card offense.
Yeah, pushing for an equalizer. Instead, they found a red card.
Yep. So Group B has Arsenal sitting top with 9 points. PSV in second with 5 points. Lens in third with 5 points. And Sevilla in fourth.
Out of the Europa League spots, man.
They're going to have to show up these last couple games.
I
to get
know.
To their home place.
They have to get a minimum of 4 points to be able to stay in Europe.
A win and a draw. That's what they'll get.
All they need.
All right, man. Well, let's move on to Group A. This is a very interesting group. Well, at least the three teams are. We had Bayern Munich hosting Galatasaray. Bayern Munich win this one 2-1. We both picked Munich to win. And honestly, this was a very entertaining game. When the live games were coming on, I was debating which one to watch. It was between this game, Bayern Munich and Galatasaray, or of course Arsenal and Sevilla. I ended up picking Arsenal and Sevilla because, well,
Same. Duh.
But this was a battle in the first half. It was pretty evenly matched. Both teams got some looks at goal. Galatasaray thought they had a goal in the 62nd through Lucas Torreira, but Mauro Icardi was judged to be offside in the build-up. Bayern Munich would also think they had a goal, but also offsides. And then they eventually got it. Free kick from Joshua Kimmich to Harry Kane.
Literally,
they spent all this money on.
Literally identical, except this time Harry Kane was onside. Like, same spot, same header, same goal.
That was in the 80th minute, so all the goals came pretty late in this game. Harry Kane would get his second after a quick break by Bayern. Matthias Tell would play a beautiful through ball across right between the defender's legs. Harry Kane just alone at the back post, man.
Yeah, wonderful play from Thomas Müller before that to find Matthias Tell. But I'm going to say it right now, Targo. I know I alluded to it earlier. The guy who I think is going to win the Ballon d'Or, as long as Harry Kane wins a trophy this season, Harry Kane for Ballon d'Or, man. He is going to break all sorts of goal-scoring records. He's on fire. The man has, I think it's 20 goals. And he's 15 in the Bundesliga, I'm pretty sure. And
he's got four or five. Champions League.
Okay, so 19 goals in 14 games.
Yep, and throw in 7 assists in there.
Yeah, doesn't look like stopping anytime soon. This guy is I understand he has never played for a top club, but damn, damn,
he's killing it. Yeah. Galatasaray would get one back, though, in the 92nd minute after a wonderful ball over the top would find Bakambu with a lovely finish, man.
Yeah, first time,
I did not expect him to score that. Yeah.
No, slotting it right past Manuel Neuer.
Beautiful finish. But let's get to the big game
of this
week that had lots of talking points. The talking points in this game are
the one with the most drama. Yes.
This was Copenhagen hosting Manchester United. I picked Copenhagen to win this game, by the way.
I almost did too. I almost changed it like you did to Atleti, but I couldn't. I didn't think United were going to be that bad. And they really weren't. But they were.
I would say they got hard done, but Copenhagen would end up winning this one 4-3. I guess let's get going, man. This one, it started out hot after Harry Maguire handled the ball after just 30 seconds in the box. PK was not given.
Wasn't given. Yeah.
And not a dull moment, because just a couple minutes later, Rasmus Højlund would finish a wonderfully crafted move by Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay kind of flashes it across the box for him. Højlund there to tap it in.
Yeah,
so
I will say,
third minute.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka was back for this match, and the run he made to be able to feed McTominay was what Manchester United have been missing this entire season, ever since he got hurt.
They've been looking for Rashford to do that, and he has not been.
Yeah. So Rashford fed in Wan-Bissaka, who fed it into McTominay in 2 fantastic runs, and McTominay fed it into Højlund, tap and goal.
And United would double their lead in the 28th minute after a quick counterattack. Saw Garnacho's shot saved right into the path of Højlund. Another tap in. 2 goals against his old club. United, they're flying high. 28th minute. And then Marcus Rashford gets a red card in the 42nd minute. He's shielding the ball as he goes to plant his foot. He steps on the Copenhagen player. Can't remember who it was. Steps on him kind of on his ankle.
Julert, whatever.
Whoever the left back was.
Yeah. Should have been a yellow, man. There's no way in hell this should be a red. It's accidental. He's literally going to put his foot down and accidentally gets the defender. I don't understand how this is a red card. Again, with the theme of this week of VAR dropping the ball, I just feel like, because the on-field decision was a yellow. Goes to the VAR, has them go to the monitor, they decide it's a red. I don't understand it. And now it's going to have detrimental effects for Manchester United too.
I'll tell you why. I understand why they gave it a red. Do I agree with it? No, but I understand it. Because, man, you look at that still image, and it does look bad. It looks terrible. But again, if you're playing the game and you know what's happening, you see he's just trying to shield the ball from the opposing player, and he ends up stepping on him. It's painful for that Copenhagen player, but it's not a red. But again, you look at that still image, it's nasty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm guessing that's why they gave it.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's detrimental to Manchester United because a straight red puts them out for 2 games, which is for their trip to Istanbul and their game against Bayern Munich. So he's out for the rest of the group stage. And one would argue it's their best player. So
again,
rough.
Argue. But man, Copenhagen would make them pay in this first half for that red card. 3 minutes after it, Yunus El-Nusi would find the back of the net after a wonderful back pass from Goncalves to find him and just pass it home, man.
Yep. Onana stood no chance against that one.
And then Copenhagen would get a PK. This was it was weird. It was like a cross shot. I'm not sure what it was, but it hits Raphael Varane on the arm, bounces to a Copenhagen player, and it kind of gets trapped between the Copenhagen player and Maguire, and it touches Maguire's arm. Handball given. Harsh.
Never said which one, but
they never did. Yeah.
It's harsh. I think the Varane handball is probably the one that they called because the Maguire one.
I would think it would be for the Maguire one. Just because Maguire's arms are up, where Varane's was at least down by his side. That's the only thing I would say.
Inside of the first, did you say 30 seconds? Yeah. Same thing happened. No penalty. Contradictory. I don't understand.
A little bit. And especially because we'll have another handball incident in this game. But Goncalves would score the PK. And then United would get a penalty of their own in the 66th minute after Maguire headed a ball that would come off the hand of the defender. Again, they said his arm was out. But when you're jumping, I mean, try jumping with your arm straight down. You have to put your arms up.
Not only that, but I'm pretty sure Harry Maguire fouled the other defender on the way to jump for it. And then as he's jumping, both of them are battling for the ball. So his arms are out battling with Harry Maguire.
I disagree with that it was a foul.
Arguably.
I would say Maguire's a big, strong man where the guy marking him was not. was a regular guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, it definitely just looked like a stronger man going up for a header next to a regular guy.
But his arms are up trying to, shield Maguire from getting the ball. And then they both jump. Well, that means his arms are in a natural position. There's no way for him to react to it.
But they called it
very harsh.
They called it unnatural, which again I disagree with, and I do not think this should have been given.
No.
But Bruno would step up, take it, and obviously this was against the run of play. Copenhagen were looking for that third goal at this point, as they had a man advantage. They would get their third goal in the 88th minute. Man, Rooney.
83rd minute.
83rd minute, sorry.
Gets the winner. Yeah.
So Rooney gets the winner. So 83rd, after some wonderful interplay outside the box, Cross would find an open Larager. You put it past Onana.
Yeah.
And then Rooney in the 88th.
Yeah.
78th minute. Or sorry, 17-year-old in the 88th minute.
Yeah.
Just kind of, Cross goes in the box, bounces out to him.
Hammers it into the ground.
Hammers it into the ground. There you go.
Chance. I just find it hilarious that Man United get beat by a kid named Rooney in Copenhagen. And not to mention, he's their leading goal scorer this season. That was his 10th goal of the season for Copenhagen. 17 years old.
17. This was a wild game, though, man. It was wild. Lots of VAR controversy, handballs, red cards. It had it all, man.
Yeah.
And looking at that group, Bayern, they've already qualified. They have 12 points. And then in second, you have Copenhagen now with 4 points. Galatasaray in third with 4 points. And Manchester United last with 3 points.
Yeah. And if you had told me at this stage that United with 3 points would have a chance to still qualify for the knockout rounds, I would have been in disbelief. It's insane. But they have a chance.
They might.
They
Watch
have
Bayern
to.
Munich play like a B squad.
I still think they'll beat Manchester United, but Galatasaray still can bottle this, man. All it's going to take is for Manchester United.
Don't forget about Copenhagen, man. They're the ones in second.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if United and Galatasaray play to a draw in Istanbul, and Copenhagen can somehow get a point, and then when Copenhagen plays Galatasaray, watch Galatasaray bottle it and lose to Copenhagen. What a finish that would be. Holy crap.
I don't know who's going to finish second, man.
I'm going to pick Galatasaray because I think United doesn't travel well. I think the 3 points they'll get that, and Bayern, there's no way they're going to lose to Copenhagen. So
Man United, they have to go to Galatasaray, and they
play Bayern Munich at home
Bayern
for the
Munich.
final. Yeah.
Again, if they can get a result against Galatasaray, and I bet you, again, Bayern Munich plays a B squad, maybe Man United can get something. It'll be interesting. We'll see, though, man.
We'll see. What do you guys think? Let us know. Okay, I dropped a marker. Right. I gotta let Izzy out.
Okay.
She's whining. I think she's got to poop. And that's the last thing I want in here. Look at Mom. Okay.
I was expecting you to drop a marker a while ago and let her out.
Yeah, we were on a roll, man. I wasn't going to interrupt it. So I figured I would save it for in between segments so it's easier to cut out for both of us.
It is, yeah.
All right.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode reviewing the Champions League. Some big upsets. Barcelona lost to Shakhtar. Copenhagen beat United. We went over our top 10 goal scorers in the Champions League and ranked them how they should be ranked, according to us.
One of us.
One of us.
One of us.
Let us know what you guys think of our ratings. Give us your own. Let us know on our Facebook group, Instagram. Don't forget to check out the YouTube, like, subscribe. Of course, help support the channel, getting the merch at Redbubble. And on that note, we love you guys. Thank you so much. As always, cheers.
Cheers.